Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology only. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 things we must avoid at all costs. Yes, we all must avoid at all costs. If we want to study traditional Chinese martial art or Wing Chun, especially for those who want to research into traditional Chinese martial art or Wing Chun. This is serious stuff. If we get trapped into this, we will only wasting our life, going nowhere, and screw ourselves. And of course, we're going to screw others too. So let's begin with this thing. We know that traditional Chinese martial art, including Wing Chun, the truth is body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. Body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. That's why in the recent video you show me share even in Chinese language that on this thing in details. Now, the 3 things we must avoid is, number 1, thinking that the study of Chinese terminology or language is the study of traditional Chinese martial art or Wing Chun. Many researchers today, they are thinking they are researching into like Wing Chun or traditional Chinese martial art. But instead they are not. They are just learning this Chinese term, that terminology, and then play around the terminology with their own logic or opinion. All kinds of language stuff there. So this actually divert from the body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. One can keep going on and on for an entire life on the Chinese terminology, this grandmaster using this terminology, I want to simplify this terminology, this language. All of this actually have nothing to do with body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. I give you an example. For example, the Yi Ma of traditional Chinese martial arts. Right? People will study, oh, this is the Chinese term or the Yi Ma from this history, that history, this lineage, that lineage, this grandmaster, that grandmaster. However, one could not be able to figure out is that the clamping yang stance or clamping goat, like the cow goat stance. The ancient Chinese is calling it naming it as clamping yang, the positive yang side stance. So one can study the terminology for entire past 70, 80 years. And still you have all this debate on is it clamping goat or clamping the positive side. Because as soon as one have no idea on the body mechanics and impulse momentum, one really don't know what it is. It's like saying that in the Zen, talking about enlightenment. When one have no idea what is enlightenment, then one can just keeping going, playing with words. Okay? So the example of Yi Ma. Another thing is, years ago, when I do this, Keizang, another Sifu say, oh, We have this too. This is called high tan sao. What? Playing with terminology. Well, this is in the Bubishi. They say it clearly. This is Keizang. This is not Hai Tan Sao. So, all this terminology without knowing the body mechanics and impulse momentum, one really do not know what it is. And further in research in this, give more opinion, try to have one's view as a specialist or something is only create to more distortions. Because you divert from the ancestor already. When the ancestors say that the design is clamping the positive or yang side stance, you call it the goat stand. And then when people ask you, is that goat or the positive? Cannot answer. What is it? What is the problem? And also like the example of this is a Keizang, this is not a Hai Tan Sao. But then you ask people who study the Chinese terminology, is it Hai Tan Sao or the Keizang? Because they don't know about the body mechanics and impulse momentum, they cannot make a decision. What is that? Okay? So avoid that. You know, let's not get into this and then thinking that we are specialists or we are researchers, when what we do is only this thing. Don't waste your life. Okay? Because you're going to waste your life and you're going to distort Wing Chun or other traditional Chinese martial arts. What good is that? It's not going to bring you satisfaction, because there is no truth inside here unless one knows the body mechanics and impulse momentum. The second thing we must avoid is using last name or relationship as the truth of technology or as the expert of the technology, where we have no idea about the body mechanics, impulse momentum handling of that particular style of traditional Chinese martial art. This one I can tell you an example. Okay? So 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago this time, I flew to Southeast Asia because I found out that the Yikam 1850s Xiu Lim Tao set is already missing in a mainstream. So being a student of the lineage, I flew to Southeast Asia and taught a particular person the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao on the surface. Okay, this the move and so forth, didn't get real into it. So guess what? After I flown back to US a few months later, this person start to use that he is the last student of my Qigong, bad-mouthing my Sifu. And then he start to say that because his last name, that he is more authentic than me. And then he make the claim, go to China, he make the claim that he is the gatekeeper, so forth, so forth, so forth. And then he changed the sets, he do all kinds of stuff. And then he tell the researcher in the West that I am a make-up. Okay? And of course, researcher in the West, if we walk into this kind of stuff, is going to believe them. And some even say in public that they want to debunk me because I'm a fake, because my Sifu is a fake. My Sifu never learned anything. So that is about, because my last name, because my relationship, then I have an upper hand. And so what I'm saying is proper, is the truth. Did that say anything about biomechanics and impulse momentum handling of that particular style? In this case, is 1850s Xiu Lim Tao. It doesn't. So 20 years after today, until today, 2000, year 2020 already. Still the same story. My last name, I am the student of so and so, and in this case, Hendrik is fake. He made up stuff. Well, this is trouble, because as soon as one not be able to present the body mechanics and impulse momentum, one really doesn't have the art. Disregard of how one can play a set. Nobody will know whether you play a set is proper or not, right? You can make claim. So avoid that. If you really know that, like the 1850s Xiu Lim Tao sets, I can say that, as in this book, from the quid to the H model, one need to be able to present that if one really have learned that technology. Okay? So this type of stuff, disregard of how one thinking that one have the authority or so forth here. As soon as it doesn't have a clear understanding on body mechanics and impulse momentum, you know, it just take a few years and people will find out, and it's going to be a slap in our own face, okay? Technology cannot be fake or make believe. The third thing is we must avoid this at all costs. Making elementary as advanced or living in fantasy. So what is that? Today, many people do that. Making elementary as advanced and living in fantasy. So what is that? You see all around in YouTube and around the world, in magazine, everybody talk about internal fudging. I have this structure to fudging. I have this, I'm using this way to fudging. And demoing, if you touch me this way, I do this fudging and I do that fudging. I have this structure, I have this mind power, chi power, all kinds of stuff. Well, is there anything wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that, to get into those. But those are elementary stuff. Those so-called fudging stuff, I'm going to use my body this way, my intention to handle my body this way. According to the H model, it is under here. It is elementary stuff of how to use body mechanic the very elementary way. While on the reality, what is reality? I show you what is reality. This is the fight between Zhang Weili and Joanna. So you can watch it between Zhang Weili and Joanna. That is reality. That is advanced. There is struggling there. Where is those fudging basic elementary stuff of I have need to stand in this posture, I have to use my Dan Tian, I have to using my my intention in this type of exchange? Where is it? So if one get into those, this is my fudging way, my structure way, my mind power way, align on my spine way, all kinds of stuff, without even knowing the stability of the core or torso, like the modern sports science MMA training have. One is making elementary as advanced. You can get a student come and then I'm fudging, you fly away. No, the student fly away. Or the student push me, I can take the force. Those are elementary stuff. When you get into fighting Zhang Weili, do you think you can do that? Or you get KO within seconds? Because again, the truth is body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. So the truth is the dynamic impulse momentum handling, your VO2 max, which is your oxygen, volume of oxygens, got to do with your endurance, your heart rate variability, got to do with your handling of your autonomic nervous system when you want to fight here. So this is endurance, VO2 max, your oxygen, your strength. This is HRV, the heart rate variability. How do you handle the stress there? Or today words we say, well, how can you handle pressure? And then only with this, the dynamic impulse momentum handling, your VO2 max and your HRV, your heart rate variability or your autonomic nervous system handling, we be able to handle the pressure, to operate under pressure. So looking back, where is all this standing there, fudging? Okay, I can sit here, you get student pushing my shoulder, I can fudging, do. What does that do when you face somebody like Joanna here or Zhang Weili here? If the Chinese have those things, which is advanced, you know, if those things, this fudging stuff advanced, then Zhang Weili will use it already. Zhang Weili doesn't have to struggle with Joanna. This is year 2020, okay? So these three things, we must avoid it completely. And this is not only you, we, including me. Because as soon as we mistake this thing as the real deal and don't know about that thing, and thinking that we are doing research when we do this, or interview somebody who have the last name like the Yik Kam San or Wing Chun San, without knowing this, we are getting ourselves into trouble and we are going to screw other people on what we are talking about. So this is to share with you today. You know, do not waste your life. I know there are many people who love Wing Chun, who love traditional Chinese martial art, who like to do research, who like to do good, using it in the proper way, not using it here. Because if you're using it here, you're going to screw yourself, you're going to screw other people. So your good intention there, at the end, create a bad result. But if you use the proper directions and your good intention, then of course you're going to contribute big, and you're going to be known for that. So this is to share with you today.